There are 4 special and amazing exam preparation strategies I've learned from one of the biggest study YouTubers, Nasir, popularly known as KHARMA MEDIC. And this third one is an advice I will never forget while studying. So let's go to the first strategy. One of the biggest and annoying mistakes I made in my freshman year was not following this intense and amazing advice about talking to my senior colleagues in my college, and after listening to Nasir, I learned a lot.
One thing that people often forget about is that older years at your university or college have gone through exactly what it is that you're doing right now, just a year or two before. They can give you tips on how to get ready for these exams, how to manage stress and what techniques to use, and they can also provide you with resources, their own notes, good studying resources, past paper questions, whatever. You can also use the mistakes that they've made as lessons going forward, and they'll probably have really good insights on what is going on at your school, and they're likely to understand what they test on, what's the high yield material, etc. If you ask me now as a final year medical student versus in my first year, what kind of things should I focus on and how much effort should I put into studying for exams, I have a really good idea now, which I didn't necessarily have back in first or second year. And a lot of universities also have societies where older years share their resources, their notes, their past paper exam questions, and they offer tutorials, peer-to-peer teaching and learning, etc. It's really useful to get involved. It helps you feel like you're not going into your exams completely clueless if you know how other students have found those exams and studied for them the years before. It means that you're going in as prepared as you can. One of the things that I think people worry about with using a method like this—
honestly, when I was in my freshman year, I felt like I didn't need anyone to succeed in school. I felt like a boss. I felt like I knew everything till I saw my first result.
And you failed.
Although my result wasn't that bad, but if I had removed pride and humbled myself to ask my senior colleagues for advice and past questions, I would have done a lot better. Speaking about pride and foolishness, this next advice also blessed me a lot.
Next thing that I would suggest is to just speak to your friends. This is really important. Some of them are probably in the exact same boat as you, and knowing that can help you feel a lot less alone when you're falling behind. Now, very crucially, you can also help each other and share resources. You might have all the flashcards on a particular topic that they were just about to spend 2 hours making, and they might be able to send you a YouTube video that can explain a concept really well which you just happen to be struggling with. Talking to your friends and being open about your work and your resources and your workload is incredibly powerful. It's something that I've done throughout my time at university, and I can safely say I could not have done as well as I have without the help of my friends. You need to make sure that you're using all the resources available to you, and this includes your friends and their knowledge. It might even be worth setting up a group study session for an upcoming exam and working on topics that you all find difficult together. It just takes one person in the friend group to suggest something like this, and in the end, most people want to do it, and most people—
I can remember an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. Also, in my freshman year, I thought this academic journey was all about how fast you can be. I never realized it was about how far you can go. And this one strategy will help me a lot in going far in my academics. What do you think about it? Please let me know in the comment section below. We are in a time where we are easily distracted by our phones whenever we want to study for exams. The truth is, it's human to be distracted, but for me, I've tried to reduce these mobile distractions to the lowest minimum. But this one strategy changed the game for me, and it's an advice I will never forget while studying or whenever I want to study.
Your phone is your worst enemy when it comes to studying time. If you hear any notification, if you hear a buzzing, if you even look at your phone, or if you even think of your phone, you're so likely to just, without even thinking, reach over and grab it and check it. I'm guilty of doing this all the damn time. And because I'm a human and I'm prone to checking my phone and getting all of these addicting notifications and numbers and messages, I have 2 ways in order to completely eliminate my phone from my studying environment. Step number 1 is to put your phone out of sight. If you can't see your phone, you're less likely to think of it, you're less likely to notice it, and you're just less likely to check it overall. Step number 2 is to put your phone out of reach. That creates a huge barrier. You have to now get up and move in order to get your phone, which I know sounds kind of stupid. You're probably like, oh, it's just 2 steps away over there on the bed. But the truth is, when you're sitting down, any extra effort or friction you give yourself in order to go check your phone, you're gonna do it less often.
Honestly, these are smart moves. I know this will help me a lot, and I think it will help you as well. One thing I like about Nasir is he's a genius at memorizing, and he doesn't use those old foggy memorizing techniques we all know and use that are sometimes ineffective. He uses a classic method to memorize. Before I show you this method, we just crossed 200 subscribers. Wow, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you that made this journey a success up to this level, and I'm so happy. Thank you very much. Please, I would really appreciate if this video gets more than 50 likes. So if you have not liked this video, please help your boy. It will really mean a lot and the world to me. And a shout out to April and Chidet's Hair for commenting on my last video. I really appreciate. And also leave a comment on this video for a shout out. Now back to our classic memorizing method.
Creating words or sentences in order to condense and remember information. So a very good example of how I used this in my most recent test was for remembering that damage to Broca's area in the brain results in an expressive aphasia, and damage to Wernicke's area in the brain causes a receptive aphasia. And so here are the two relationships that I needed to remember. Broca's and expressive, Wernicke's and receptive. And the first thing that I do is cut down all those words, cut down this sentence basically into just two letters. Broca's expressive and Wernicke's receptive. And that's all the information that I need. I don't need all of these different words. If I'm trying to recall this piece of information in my head, BE is so much simpler and easier than Broca's expressive. So the next thing that I want to do is take a look at these words and think about how I can combine them into something easy and simple to remember in order for me to remember these two relationships here. And what I ended up coming up with was the word beware. So beware. And the BE stands for Broca's expressive, and the WR stands for Wernicke's receptive. This E here should be small. And so just like that, I've taken this relationship here that I just for whatever reason could not seem to remember, and I've turned it into one simple word, which is beware, and I'm never going to forget that. When I'm trying to recall this, recalling this one word here is so much simpler than remembering Broca's expressive aphasia, Wernicke's receptive aphasia.
I call this a classic memorizing method because you can use this method to remember any phrase. So in a way of practicing what you've learned today, I want you to take your time and break down this phrase into a smaller and memorizable form for me. Let's see how creative you are, and I would love to know which of these strategies you are using in school. And if this video was helpful to you, please don't forget to subscribe for more because I have a lot packed for you this year. I personally have picked these two informative videos for you, so make sure you check them out. I'm Maxifred, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Please do check out my TikTok account for more daily study tips.